The new Super Hog Rider will split into 2 troops. It will have a maximum level of 12, given that we revealed the upgraded Hog Rider in yesterday's sneak peek, and we know a new Dark Barracks level is coming. The Super Hog Rider is the 16th Super Troop, and just like any of them, you will have to boost it before you can use it. This is actually available as early as Town Hall 13, as long as your Hog Riders are level 10. Its special ability, Divide and Conquer. Upon defeat, Hog and Rider split into separate troops. At maximum level, it will have 230 damage per second. Compared to a regular Hog Rider, that's an extra 30. Hit points, 1,700. Regular Hog has 1,230, but you can see the Super Hog Rider has a housing space of 12. That is to balance the fact that on top of this base troop, you then get a further 2 once it splits. The Super Hog, dealing 60 damage per second with 1,000 hit points. It is a lot faster since it's not carrying the Rider, which is then slower, but deals 230 damage per second with 700 hit points. That is 3,400 across the 3 of these. You can see that 12 housing space, it's pretty good. Once you have boosted the Hog Rider, you might notice something a little different. We are allowed to cancel Super Troops. Now, if you do this, you will not get a refund on the Dark Elixir or the Super Potion that you used, but it does mean since we have a lot more Super Troops, we can now be flexible. Much better when it comes to CWL and you have a war every day. Mechanics first. How does the splitting of troops work? Initially, the Super Hog Rider is exactly the same as the regular Hog Rider. Defense targeting, jumping over walls. However, when it gets taken down, the Rider is flung off and will attack any building. The Hog is still defense targeting and can still jump over walls, but the Rider is stuck behind walls and would have to punch through them. One important note on that is the Rider itself will deal 2 times damage to walls, so when they're inside the base, they should be able to get through them a little bit easier. Let's do a couple of comparisons and give you the pros and cons of the Super Hog Rider. When comparing to the regular Hog Rider, remember the base stats of this troop are only slightly better than the regular Hog Rider, so looking at this comparison, that doesn't look too big of a difference. The main advantage for the Super Hog Rider is really when it splits into the 2 troops. A major advantage of the Super Hog, though, is being able to avoid spring traps. Now, one Super Hog Rider can get flung off. The maximum level spring capacity is 18, but that means when you compare it to a regular Hog and you can lose 3 of them, it's a much better trade-off. The spring traps are the one thing that you really can't counter with a Hog Rider attack. Even if you have your Warden ability, they will still just get flown off the map. However, with the new Super Hog Rider, one of them could still be hit, but you'd still get the Hog and the Rider afterwards anyway. The Rider can be brilliant for cleanup, especially if you have high HP buildings inside the base, such as storages, the clan castle. The Riders can clean that up, whilst the Super Hogs and the Hog, gosh, it does get confusing, they run out in front to continue taking down the defenses. One thing I really like that Supercell did is make the Rider slower, but the Hog is faster. Being defense targeting still, the Hogs become the tank, the Super Hog Riders become the damage dealer, and the Rider becomes the cleanup. There's just really good synergy between the 3 troops, and that got me thinking, what about on defense? Because you would have a huge amount of hit points since there's 3 troops, and I initially thought maybe when the Rider gets flung off, it would cause the Archer Queen to re-aggro. However, in testing, a lot of the time that just doesn't work. So I'll be interested to see whether base builders can get the Super Hog to work on defense, because I think that mechanic could trip people up. But being honest, I do think the triple Ice Golem CC would slow people down for longer, especially with the added freeze effect at the end. On attacking, an advantage of the Super Hog Riders is you can attack into the Town Hall since they have greater hit points. So you can use the heal spell to get them through. I would still probably advise the Warden ability, to be honest, but it does just give you that greater flexibility as to where you send the hogs in from and where you're queen charging. For players like me, another big advantage is that the Super Hog Riders are a bit more forgiving. Should you be concentrating on your queen charge, you look across and there's a scatter shot blasting at your Super Hog Riders. Since they have greater hit points, you can pop the heal spell in, and it might be the difference of them surviving and getting healed back up, or if it was regular Hog Riders, they would already be down. So in my opinion, the queen charge into mass Super Hog Riders will be the way to go with this. Only time will tell. If there are any special offers in the shop when the update goes live, remember you can support a content creator beforehand. My code is Judo, and it really goes a long way to helping the channel. Here is our tease for tomorrow's sneak peek. Updates are such a magical time of the year with so many grand changes, you won't need to ward us off much longer. Tomorrow will be the last sneak peek, so subscribe to see that. If you missed yesterday's, I have it linked on your screen. Enjoy the rest of your day.